This is a Ecovacs N8 Pro. It's a robot vacuum and we've had it for a wee while now, but it's the greatest thing ever. It means that I don't have to do the vacuuming. I just push the button or select it on my app and off it goes. Cleans the house. It's absolutely brilliant. We actually have two now, so yeah, it's really cool. We do have a problem with this one. The drive motor has packed itself and the main brush doesn't spin anymore. So in this video I'm just going to show you what I did to replace it. It's a real mission to get in there, as you'll see, but it can be done, so why not give it a go? And it can be a cheap repair as well. It's one of those things I could probably take it in and get someone to do it properly, but I always give it a go myself and save some money while I'm at it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. I'll make some comments as we go through, and yeah. There's a number of screws you have to take off. The main thing you do at the start is take that bottom plate off, undo all the screws. You have to remove the two rotating brushes, the 3-pronged brush. They just pull out, they clip on. So that you push them on and you pull them up to get them off. You can buy cheap replacement kits for all the brushes online as well. The front bumper is sprung loaded. To get it off, there's a whole lot of little screws on the bottom, so you take a little shroud off, and once that's loose you can lift the whole thing up and out of the way, and then unplug 3 little plugs, and then that comes out of the way and you can put it away safely where it won't get damaged. So if you remove the bottom plate, there's 6 screws I think to undo on the next panel where the wheels are. You undo those, and then you also need to take the big steel plate out which has the battery underneath. Once you undo that, there's 2 more screws under there that you undo, and you should be able to flip it over and then start working on. There's 4 screws on the top holding the rotating radar thing. Once that's off, you can then start to pull the body apart. These are the 4 screws on top. The back 2, you have to take out the little rubber grommet first. body, you just pull on the clips at the back and the body can lift up. Gently pull on them and then they eventually come away. And yep, unclip and pull the whole front off, and then undo the plug on the main board and off it comes. Now the motor would be in the very middle of the robot. It's super annoying. So to get to it you have to undo the main board completely so it can move it up out of the way. And then you need to take the wheels out of the way. You need to basically get everything out of the way so you can get to that main drive assembly. There's 4 screws that hold the drive wheels in. You have to move the speaker out of the way on one side and then undo the screw, and then there's 2 at the front as well. It's sprung loaded, so once you get the 4th one out it'll pop up itself. I just moved it out of the way. For the other side you need to move the mop pump out of the way. There's 2 screws with holding down with a wee plate, and then you can move that motor out of the way to get to the 2 back screws on the drive wheels. Once you get those 4 out of the way you can move that wheel assembly out of the way as well. There's a couple of wires that go over the whole assembly. They're held on by tape, so I just undid the tape and then moved that cable out of the way, and then the wheel was able to be rotated out of the way. As you can see, there's so many little fragile components that you have to work on it with a bit of care. It takes a wee while to get things loose, and yeah, just work away at it. It took me some time to get the main rotor brush out of the way. Remove the little PC board as well, and then the assembly sort of opens up, and that's an easier way to get it out. And then you can unplug the motor, take the whole assembly out, and then there's 3 screws holding it onto the plastic assembly. Once you get the drive motor out, you can have a look at the gears inside and see that the little one is completely stripped. You might be able to buy a new gear, but I just bought a whole new gearbox and motor assembly for about $25, I think it was. And I'm just going to swap the whole thing out. There's some clips that you can undo to have a look at the gearbox if you want to. I got the new drive motor and then put it back in, and it's just a reverse of taking it apart to put it all back together. You do need to be very careful about getting all the wires in the right spot and making sure they don't get clamped up while you're screwing things back together, and just be gentle that you don't end up breaking anything off the board or touching the electronic components. I took the opportunity to give it a good clean as I had it apart. I want to put it back together and make sure it works properly for a long time. yeah, there you have it. I've put it back together. I'm really happy with it. It works. And let me know if you have any questions. I haven't really covered too much about it, but yeah, post in the comments if you want to find anything out specifically about how I did it, and then I'll let you know.